Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon, not here with Geeky Sparkles in this video. She'll be back later today. We're going to talk about more layoffs at Ubisoft. I can't imagine why Ubisoft is laying people off. Between the Assassin's Creed Shadows debacle and the Star Wars Outlaws debacle, and just the fact that AAA gaming in general is kind of collapsing right now because people are tired of it. Tired of a lot of the business practices, and you can argue the DEI and ESG and all that jazz too. That's just kind of the cherry on top of it. I think it really is piss poor product at a premium price, and people are getting tired of it, and they're not buying new games. They're going back to old stuff. But then you try to go back to the old stuff, and they're patching that too to make sure that it's current year. But let's talk about this. I'm not surprised at all. Ubisoft has been losing a lot of support, and they're bloated. Like most of these companies, there are way too many people working at these companies that aren't bringing any value. It's bloated and they're laying off. So let's talk about it. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. This is coming from GameSpot, which I think itself got sold off to somebody. I can't keep track of who owns who now, but all these websites are getting sold off too. Video game layoffs sadly continue with more cuts at Ubisoft. 2024 has been a brutal year with more than 10,000 video game jobs lost so far. It says spokesman for Ubisoft confirmed to Bloomberg, that'd probably be Jason Schreier, that the company made the difficult yet necessary decision to lay off staffers in an effort to align these studio organizations with their future business and development objectives. Those who lost their jobs will get severance payment, well, that's good, I guess, and outplacement support. Back in April this year, Ubisoft eliminated 45 jobs across other divisions. GameSpot has contacted Ubisoft in an attempt to get more details. These cuts appear to stem from Ubisoft's ongoing cost reduction plan to help improve profitability and appease investors. This is where everything comes off the rails. Once you start getting investment money, venture capital, infusions of that in your business, you have to make these investors happy. And sometimes that comes at the expense of making consumers happy, right? The cuts at Ubisoft have stretched beyond 1,000 people. Ubisoft San Francisco was founded in 2009, had about 500 employees. Prior to the reduction, the office includes a variety of job categories: marketing, sales, business development, communications, finance, licensing, creative, and game development. And a lot of those, frankly, aren't needed when you get down to it. I'm going to be honest. Like, a lot of it's bloat. A lot of it, if they're not developers, they really don't need to be there. You need a couple of marketing people, a couple of people to answer the phones or whatever. But Ubisoft San Francisco created the Rocksmith series and also South Park, the Fractured But Whole. And now they're working on Rocksmith and X-Defiant. I haven't played either of those. The team in Cary, North Carolina, meanwhile, is known as Red Storm. Cary, North Carolina is like the Portland of North Carolina, I've heard. I've never been there, but I know a lot of people from the West Coast have been moving to Cary, North Carolina. People say it's kind of the quarantine area, I guess, of outsiders. I don't know. It was founded in 96 by Tom Clancy, and they do the Ghost Recon Rainbow Six franchises. Yeah. So, I mean, are they directly connected to Assassin's Creed Shadows and Star Wars Outlaws? No, but the company as a whole is not doing very well, right? So this, I think, was pretty laughable, and I don't think the pre-sales are going well. I mean, I could be wrong. Like, I could be wrong. I know people were like, well, Amazon's doing really well. I'm like, I know a lot of gamers are not going to buy this game. Same with Star Wars Outlaws. Again, for various reasons, people are like, oh, it's just because the protagonist looks manly. I'm like, no, I think it's because the game costs too damn much. I think that's a big part of it. And the Star Wars franchise is badly damaged. Thank you, Disney. People are just checking out from Star Wars. So this is coming from The Gamer. And I think this is hilarious given the controversy. They said Assassin's Creed Shadows' long dev time was to make it as authentic as possible. So the main character of the game is a black samurai named Yasuke, who is supposedly based on a supposed allegedly historical figure, which I believe was fan fiction created by a guy in the UK named, he's living in Japan, but he's from the UK. Thomas Lockley. Now, I haven't been following this as closely as some other people have. We've done a couple of videos on it, but my understanding is that he greatly embellished what very, very scant amount of information was out there concerning this guy, right? There were a couple of mentions about Yasuke. He was apparently in some illustrations or something, but we didn't know what he actually did. We didn't know if he was a warrior or a samurai or just a servant. We don't know, according to other historians, and he kind of ran with it and kind of took this story to Hollywood. We got an anime out of it, and there's a Broadway play coming out about Yasuke, the Black Samurai, and now there's a video game, but they're going to make it as authentic as possible. Oh, but wait, yeah, he's also gay, apparently. So it's like, yeah, they really were trying to make this game as authentic as possible, and the Japanese people are not having it. They're calling out a lot of inconsistencies. It seemed like they consulted everybody except actual Japanese historians. So go figure. But this comes from the gamer. Assassin's Creed Shadows will have been in development for 4 years when it launches this November, which will be the longest time spent on a game in the series. Lead producer Carl One claims that this is mainly because Ubisoft is trying to make the game as authentic as possible. What? Bullshit. According to the game's lead producer, in an interview with GamesIndustry.biz, the long development time is all about ensuring the game is as authentic as possible. That is literally why people are slamming the shit out of this game. They said it's not authentic. It's very inauthentic. None of this would have happened, and you didn't even get the architecture right. And is it too much to ask for that we have a Japanese samurai as the protagonist in the supposedly historically accurate game? And also there's gay romance, lots of gay romance in it, which I don't know if that would have flown back then or not. You'll have to tell me. I'm not much of a historian on feudal Japan, but I have a hunch, given the time period, that probably wasn't something that was looked upon positively, but I could be wrong. Assassin's Creed games have long been considered incredible feats of historical accuracy, so much that they can be considered educational tools. And they explain that getting that level of accuracy takes time. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? So this is partly why Ubisoft, in my opinion, is losing buckets of money, because they're out there, they're lying about it. No, they made a fan fiction. That's what they did. I mean, hey, the graphics are nice. I mean, I'll give them that, but don't lie and say it's historically accurate. It's not. And then they said it was historically accurate, and then they after the Yasuke debacle, I think they put out a statement saying that it actually wasn't historically accurate. I'm like, well, which is it? Which is it? We're trying to create a game that's as authentic as possible. It's something we take pride in. And that's also a very long process. When we build a Japanese house from feudal Japan, it's very different from, say, a French medieval house or an English one. Wait a damn minute. Didn't you get called out by the Japanese for putting Chinese architecture in your feudal Japan sim? So you have to learn as artists where things go inside a feudal Japanese house. Maybe the food doesn't go there. You have to get everything you need to know and learn it. And that process is long. No, they're probably trying to stretch the money out, stretch the expense out. I am fully convinced that the reason it takes so damn long for a lot of these AAA titles to get made is that they're trying to spread the ridiculous expense. I mean, we're talking, these games are $150, $200 million games. They cost as much to make now as a movie. And they're trying to spread that across as many quarters as possible, again, to please investors. But also a lot of that expense is coming from bloat, people that don't need to be there. Hence the layoffs, hence the right sizing. And again, I'm not happy about anyone losing their jobs, but this was inevitable. Once the free money ran out, it was inevitable that they would start laying people off because there are so many people working in the video game industry. They're not actually making video games. They're not contributing to the manufacturing and distribution of video games. They're just there to be like the chief vibe officer or some shit, you know? Like, why are you here? Like, just distill it down to the devs and a couple of office staff. That's all you need. More than any other game in the series before it, Assassin's Creed Shadows' authenticity has been scrutinized relentlessly, most likely stemming from the vitriol surrounding protagonist Yasuke, who seems to be an OC of this Lockley guy. Arguments have been made ever since the game's reveal that Yasuke isn't a samurai, something which an actual Japanese historian has debunked. One actual Japanese historian. More Japanese people said, yeah, we really need to look into this. And why are we taking one guy's, Lockley, I'm talking about Lockley, taking his word for it? Trust me, bro, this guy existed and he was totally a samurai. And also gay. And I know this because, so fans of the series have had Assassin's Creed Shadows under the microscope ever since. Of course, Ubisoft has admittedly dropped some real clangers the past couple of months using real-life Japanese historical reenactment groups flag and some Assassin's Creed Shadows concept art. Yes. Claiming a replica of a One Piece character sword as Yasuke's. Yes. Historical accuracy, folks. There it is. Still, Ubisoft has been doing its best. And while its public statements surrounding concerns over authenticity have been a little lackluster, why aren't they mentioning the architecture? Not mentioning the architecture. There's obviously a lot of love for the time period. Yeah, so we got that going on, right? We've got Star Wars Outlaws. People complain about the graphics, right? This was just a week or two ago. So Ubisoft shoots down delaying Star Wars Outlaws over widespread graphics complaints. The level of quality of the world and the experience is really very high. Now, I've seen some gameplay. It doesn't look terrible. But I'm going to tell you, I am so checked out from Star Wars at this point that you could give me the best looking Star Wars game ever, and I'm probably going to pass. Right? And if I was going to play Star Wars at this point, Star Wars game at this point, I'd go back and play like Battlefront 2 or something because I'm so checked out. Like I was actually enjoying the hell out of a couple of weeks ago. I was playing Pod Racer on the N64, and I'm like, I like this game. This is pretty fun. Racer Revenge was actually pretty good too. And that whole era, that like late 90s, early 2000s era of Star Wars video games, right before the Disney acquisition, I enjoyed quite a bit when Lucasfilm was still in charge. But yeah, this one I have no interest in. And again, I am biased because I just, as a whole, hate the direction that Disney has taken the franchise in. So I have no doubt. But yeah, this is coming from Games Radar, by the way. After an outpouring of negative comments surrounding Star Wars Outlaws graphics, Ubisoft said it won't delay the open world game, and it's confident that people will love it. Earlier this month, IGN debuted 10 minutes of brand new gameplay for Star Wars Outlaws. See in the video below. The video didn't go down well, with 13,000 dislikes compared to 8,000 likes, and the responses in the comments called out technical elements of the new Ubisoft game, like dropped frames, stuttering, and issues with ripples along the sand dunes. I almost misread that. I thought it said nipples in the sand dunes. And it's not Padme because Anakin hates sand. So we're going to ignore the frame drops and the San Andreas-like explosions. One comment reads under the video. Another adds why the graphics look so poor and the particle effect to Explosion K's face, referencing Outlaws protagonist K. Vess. There wasn't a lot of love for the way Star Wars Outlaws looked, at least. So they're not going to delay it. Why are they not going to delay it? They're not going to, which is weird because they really weren't promoting this one very much. Did you notice that? Like, it just kind of was slipping under the radar. Like, oh, by the way, we have a new Star Wars game coming out. It's like $70 or $110 or whatever the hell they're charging for it. But they cannot afford to delay it. Ubisoft is in pretty deep shit financially. All these AAA studios are in deep shit. They can't afford to delay a release, so they will ship a half-ass game, and to borrow from movies, they'll fix it in post, right? And there'll be updates and stuff, and so maybe they'll patch the hell out of this game. Probably charge you for each one of those those DLC updates, I'm sure. But, you know, and then maybe you'll get to a place where people are actually happy with it. I mean, it does happen. Sometimes these games, I mean, it takes a couple of updates, but they get good eventually. No Man's Sky is a fantastic example of that. I use that one often because that game was so underwhelming when it shipped compared to what was promised. And the game as it exists right now is so much more than what was promised. But those updates were free, and it was over the course of like 8 years. But this is a AAA title from Ubisoft. It's Disney's involved. It's Star Wars. It's going to be what it's going to be. $70 base. I think they have like a $100 plus version or some shit. I'm not buying it. I don't care. But Ubisoft is confident about the final product's graphics, yeah. As we've also said for Star Wars, the level of quality of the world and the experience is really very high, said the CEO. Buy our shit. We're really leveraging our engine, and I think people will love it. Games Radar Plus recently went hands-on with Star Wars Outlaws, and they said it was okay. So it was okay. But yeah, I mean, if you're into it, go for it, whatever. I don't give a shit. I think a lot of people don't give a shit. I think this is why they're laying off. Even in San Francisco, they're probably looking at like, well, we can cut people from here. You know, this person, Guitar Warrior, the one comment they have on GameSpot. No wonder, since the whole industry switching to AI, because it's no wonder characters has such dialogues. Are you okay? The weather is not nice. Let's eat some meat. Where's my ship? Yeah, they have to get this game out. And the reason that they're fighting gamers so hard on Assassin's Creed Shadows is 4 years of development time, hundreds of millions of dollars, and a hell of a lot of controversy. You know, this could make or break them. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.